Hi there, welcome back to the Kellner Chronicles, episode 21. Yep, this is the big 2-1. We have now come of age. Legal in every country. Joking. Okay, today's video is a video that I've been beating my head up about whether I should make it or not. It's one of those videos where people are going to say, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Going to be a lot of criticism on this one, I believe, but there is some substance to this. First of all, I've done a lot of research on this, and I decided to do some research before I decided to do this video. And I went through all the medical journals, well, online journals regarding this subject. I went through all recent news reports, global actually. I went through quite a few. I also did a lot of checking and research, and I've also used my own personal and professional knowledge. Due to the job that I do, I have a unique insight. But if you want to know more, you're going to have to join us in a minute. For today's episode 21, vaccines, vaccine passports, and Philippine travel in 2021. So if you want to know more, stay tuned. See you in a minute. Hi there, welcome back once again to the Kellner Chronicles. Nice that you stayed. Okay, before we start on today's topic, let's have a look at one thing. I've had a hell of a lot more subscribers recently. We are now in the 500s. Would you believe that? But then again, a lot of them are Filipinos, Pinoys, who've joined, and I'm really thankful for them to have joined. Really grateful to them, and to my regular Chronicleites. I'm kidding. To my regular viewers and subscribers, thank you for staying, thank you for believing in me, and thank you for taking the time. Once again, as always, I try to give a insight into what's going on within the Philippines and around the world, especially when it affects me personally. In this case, episode 21 is going to deal with the recent things regarding vaccines, which we all knew was coming. With regards to me and my professional side, I can tell you this. I work for the local government here. I have done for a huge number of years. And I can tell you that the job that I do is very strongly related to the travel industry, but on the government side of things. Let's say on the serious legal side of things. So I do have an insight into this crisis. I have been on the front lines for the last 12 months, the very front line. That's how serious it is. If you want to know exactly what I do, you can always check out my earlier live stream or wait for the next one, which will be up very soon, probably in the next day or so. So bear with me on that. So getting back to today's topics, please understand I'm not a medical expert, but I have researched. I am not a government expert, but I have researched. I'm not going to tell you these things without some solid backup evidence, and I have that here in front of me. Okay, from all my research, my notes, which keep me going. Now, we all want to travel. We all want to fly. We all want to go to places like the Philippines. And we know the restrictions are very serious. Quarantines, 14 days here, 5 days there, 10 days here. We know that that eats up our time abroad, and it's almost pointless going. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. However, is there? This episode is going to deal more with questions than answers. But it's up to you to make your final decisions. I cannot decide for you. Okay? You're all smart, educated, and intelligent people. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on my channel. Anyway. Silly question. Point being, we know what's coming. There's been a lot of talk about no flight until this time, till that time. I've said in a previous video, episode 18, about traveling, that President Duterte, in his wisdom, decided that there'll be no real opening of the flight restrictions properly until September 2021. So let's take that into consideration. Right now, that was the case a couple of weeks ago, but as we know, this is changing moment to moment and day to day. There's been more movement in the Philippines with families and family members being allowed in. As of I believe the 7th of December, they're going to start allowing family members and previous Philippine nationals to go home, see their families, spend time with them. How much movement they all have, I don't know. My wife and I, in our wisdom, have decided not to go until late in 2021. And a lot of what I'm going to tell you now will explain to you why we have reservations as to whether we should go earlier or later. We've decided later, and we've decided to put it off for good reason. So I'll have to wait yet another year before I can see my nephews, nieces, stepchildren, which I miss all very much. Specifically when one of your nieces, I think is now 10 or 11 years of age, comes on as she sees me as her father figure because she doesn't have one. Daddy, when are you coming home? I miss you. I love you. Why aren't you home? Why don't you come home? Can you come home this Christmas? It hurts. But just like everybody else, I'm having to bite my bottom lip and stay strong. We all are. This isn't good for anyone. But is there light at the end of the tunnel? That's the question. Okay, we've all heard that vaccines are coming out. And as far as my research takes me, up until now, there are 4 specific working vaccines, allegedly. The companies producing them are Moderna, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, which is also in conjunction with the Oxford University, and Sputnik V, which is the Russian one. Now, Pfizer, Sputnik V, and Moderna are claiming a 90% success rate. There hasn't been that much testing, so I kind of doubt very much as to that success rate. That is just my opinion. Can it be 90%? If it was, great. And AstraZeneca have given a more reasonable 60 to 90% success rate. Now, if you look at Pfizer, Sputnik V, and Moderna, they are going to be charging in the region of $10 to $20 plus for each vaccination. Now let's take that into context. In British pounds, that is anything between £7 and £15 a shot. Now I can understand why the Philippine government has opted for AstraZeneca Oxford University vaccine at only $3 or £2 a shot, or in this case, 140 pesos a shot. It makes monetary common sense. Monetarily, it does. There are 100 million people in the Philippines that need to be vaccinated. You go for the best possible option. In this case, AstraZeneca. But then again, AstraZeneca and Oxford University have a track record. Especially Oxford University. They're famed worldwide for getting things. I'm not promoting them, but I just know from past experience. What does this mean? Will we all be forced to take a a vaccine shot? Legally, no country can do that unless it's in their laws, because it breaches your human rights. And the biggest question is, what side effects do they have? Out of all the research that I've done so far, I can't see any listed. That's odd. That's worrying, which means that not enough testing's been done. Even Sputnik V, the Russian, claim that after 21 days, nobody suffered any side effects and it was successful. The test subjects. You notice my eyebrows going up? This is worrying for me, but this is my opinion. Now, another thing came about this in the last 7 to 8 days. More or less at the same time that the Philippines were going to introduce the fact that they were purchasing AstraZeneca vaccinations. Qantas, the Australian airline, has decided that in 2021, they're going to insist that no one can fly with them unless they've been vaccinated and can prove it. Hence the issuance of V-passports or vaccination passports. Anybody who's been to far countries with malaria and that, will have seen these little yellow books when they've had their vaccination for TB, for hepatitis, etc., etc. We don't have to carry them if we've been vaccinated. Will that stop quarantine? It should do, because you've been vaccinated. Therefore, in their eyes, you're clean. Or will it? Will you have to take your vaccine before you fly? Or will you land, or will you take it when you land? Lots of questions are coming up about this. It seems to me that right now, this is a worrying thought. There's more questions than answers on this. You're telling me that a vaccine or vaccines that have been produced in record time and they're 90% effective, yet the flu vaccine, which COVID-19 is a strain of, the original flu vaccine, which was invented, 40 years ago maybe? And that is only 40% effective? Wow, another question there. Now, I know from myself, I've had the flu vaccine on a couple of years in a row. I won't do it again. Why? It doesn't work. For me, it doesn't work. Every year, the medical centers here ask me to go in for a flu shot because of my condition. If you're a regular viewer of my channel, you'll find that myself and my wife have had medical conditions. My wife suffered from cervical cancer and is now recovering. Therefore, her immune system is very weak. On the other hand, I suffer from multiple sclerosis, which is a nervous disorder where your body attacks itself. So I'm high risk. I'm a high risk frontliner who has spent all this time on the front line. Now, I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet here, I'm just pointing out a fact. If Qantas is insisting on vaccinations, how many more airlines are going to do the same? That's going to be a problem for anyone wanting to travel anywhere in the world. And it's going to make you feel like you're forced to get this vaccination. If you're an anti-vaxxer, this is going to be a huge problem for you. If you're a realist like me and you're just scared about what could happen and you have no information on the side effects, it's a worrying thing. But I also have to take the other side. I want to see my family. My wife wants to see her family. Tough choices. Which is why we've left it to the end of the next year. Now you may understand why we're doing that. Because we're both high risk, taking the vaccine now may cause us irreparable damage. Worrying. So we're going to wait to see what happens with healthy people. Hopefully nothing. Not that we want them as guinea pigs, not that we're callous people, but we are trying to protect ourselves. A healthier person has a better chance of riding out side effects than I do. Than my wife does. My wife's still recovering. It's going to take her a long time to get better. But she's doing well. My fear is that the limited testing and the actual effectiveness of the drugs and the lack of knowledge about side effects are the three main concerns about taking the vaccine. If the vaccine were proven to be as effective as they claim, 90%, sign me up and let's get jabbing. I won't think twice because I want to go home. But is it? Is it safe? I don't know. As I say, I'm not a medical expert. What I'm trying to point out here, or what I'm trying to get across to you guys, is the dangers behind this. And I'm trying to get across to you guys that you really need to think seriously what your next move is. Which is why I've said in the last few videos that to leave your plans for flying till later on in the year. But however, I can't tell you to do that. That's your choice. Now, your personal and human rights could be breached if you're forced into a vaccine. But then you become a pariah to society. Oh, look, he didn't take the vaccine shot. He's bad. He wants to spread the virus. And you'll be bullied until you do. That's what I see. But then, if you're bullied into it, your human rights are being affected. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any stretch of the imagination, but I have heard a lot of different stories. And so far, they seem to be heading, or what's happening now seems to be heading in the same route as these theories. Worrying. What will this mean in the end? Unfortunately, I'm leaving you with more questions than answers, I know. But the point of this whole video is you have now some more knowledge. What I would advise any of you to do, if you want to fly next year, research everything. If you have underlying health conditions, check with your doctors. Do your own research online. There's plenty of information there, guys. And obviously stay safe. That's the most important thing. Remember, this video is just to give you a heads up as to what's going on. We don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know if when we land and we've been vaccinated, whether we'll still be quarantined. And we certainly don't know the after effects of all this. There's no long-term knowledge. Right? Everybody knows that has had vaccines before. There's always some sort of side effects. I used to inject myself in the leg for anti-interferon or interferon drugs, I believe were, for my MS. A horrible thing, stabbing myself in the thigh every week. And the side effects were worse than the disease, sorry to say. So, coming from my perspective, my knowledge of vaccines and injections, and on a personal level, what I know from a professional level and what I've researched, I've tried to compile food for thought. So maybe you guys will take consideration about what you're going to do next and don't rush into anything. Several things could happen. If you rush in, you could hurt yourself. If you rush in, you could lose money. Be smart. I know you are because, like I said before, you're on the Kellner Chronicles. You've got to be smart. And more than anything else, protect yourself. Okay? As I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. And it seems odd that a disease that is 99.7% of population are unaffected by it, whilst other diseases out there have caused more damage. I just can't get my head around that. But anyway, I hope the video helped you in some way. I hope that the information I've passed on was useful. And I hope that you take it on board and maybe do your own research to get your head clear about what's going to happen next. I'm going to do everything I can to keep you guys informed from what I find out, but I won't give you loose information like some expats will do, which have caused monetary loss and distress to people who wanted to travel and have lost everything. I'm not that sort of a vlogger. I will try to give you justified information and vetted information, not just secondhand and, oh, maybe you should come. A lot of vloggers are doing that right now. It's not good. Okay, sorry about the seriousness of this video. I hope you don't normally take me that serious, but I thought it was important for you guys to know. I mean, maybe you already know this. Maybe you're probably sitting there thinking, what's this guy talking about? I know this, I've read it. Good. It means that you are taking notice. And it means that you are putting this into practice, where you yourself are going to protect yourself. I've always tried to give informative videos, and I will keep doing so. So, if you found this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe. Give me a big thumbs up if you can. If you have any questions, there's always the comments. If you don't like it, put a thumbs down. And if you think I'm an idiot, say so. Either way, from Perry at the Kellner Chronicles, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. And I'm out of here.